What if the one decision that could save millions was also the decision that could cost you your life? A young woman with no royal blood, an empire ruled by a volatile king, and a hidden enemy plotting genocide. Our story begins in the vast Persian Empire. King Xerxes rules with power, luxury, and unpredictability. When Queen Vashti defies him, she is removed. The throne is empty, and the search begins for a new queen, Esther, an orphan raised by her uncle Mordecai. She has no army, no influence, no title, only grace and a destiny she does not yet understand. She is brought into the king's court not as a guest, but as a candidate. She hides her identity, a Jewish girl in the palace of a pagan king. What happens when God places you in a room you never planned to enter? And what if the reason is far more dangerous than you think? Time passes. Esther wins hearts and ultimately the king by God's favor. She becomes queen, yet remains unknown. No one suspects she belongs to God's covenant people. Meanwhile, Mordecai stands at the palace gate and overhears a conspiracy. 2 guards plan to assassinate the king. Mordecai exposes the plot. The king's life is saved. The event is recorded and forgotten. Not every good deed is rewarded immediately. But God remembers what the world forgets. Then comes Haman, ambitious, powerful, and ruthless. When Mordecai refuses to bow, Haman's pride ignites. He does not just hate Mordecai. He hates his entire people. Haman persuades the king. A decree is signed. The Jewish people are marked for destruction. What do you do when the law is against you? And God seems silent. When Esther hears of the decree, she sends word. Mordecai answers with a message that shakes history. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? To approach the king uninvited meant death, unless he extended the golden scepter. This is not a fairy tale moment. This is a death sentence wrapped in duty. She answers, "If I perish, I perish." Before courage comes surrender. What happens when faith collides head-on with fear? And what does God do when his people finally step forward? The day arrives. Esther walks toward the throne room, each step a risk. The king lifts his eyes. Silence. Then, the scepter rises. Grace found her where there could have been death. Esther does not rush. She invites the king and Haman to a private banquet. Strategy, patience, timing, and wisdom guided by prayer. At the second banquet, Esther speaks. "My people have been sold to be destroyed." The king turns in fury. Haman panics. The truth unravels. The plot reverses, Haman being led away in shock. But the story is not finished, because deliverance is not complete until a new decree is written. The king empowers Mordecai to write a counter-decree. The people defend themselves. What was meant for destruction becomes victory. And every year, God's people remember Purim, a reminder that unseen hands shaped visible events. Esther never performed a miracle. She never called down fire. She simply stood in the place God positioned her with courage at the critical moment. Perhaps the rooms you feel unqualified to stand in, the challenges you never asked for, and the risks you are afraid to take are not accidents. The question is not whether God has positioned you. The question is, will you step forward? Which moment in Esther's story challenged you the most, and why? Be specific. I'd love to read your perspective.